This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are honored to have our friend here, Suzanne Keating. And so, is Mercury still retrograde? That's today's topic. We're going to talk to her to find out more about her work as an astrologer and, of course, pathways of the soul. Hailing live from beautiful Nantucket. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Today's a great day.
Fantastic. Well, please tell us a little bit about what you do. And for those that may not know, maybe missed the last show, give us a little summary.
Sure. I'm an astrologer. I've been studying and practicing astrology for almost 40 years now. I
Wow.
teach classes, I meet with clients, and I have a website, and I post monthly or bi-monthly uh, news of the new and full moons and other important things, like when Mercury's going retrograde or Pluto's moving into Aquarius. I'm also a tarot reader at the farmers markets, and I do private tarot parties for larger groups.
Awesome.
Um, that's what I do.
Beautiful. And today's topic, let's get into it because some people may not even
Sure.
know what Mercury means. Is it in retrograde? Is it not? So, what is this all about? And let's talk about the significance of the planet Mercury, if you don't mind.
Sure. Mercury is the planet or the archetype or the energy that has to do with communication, negotiations, agreements, um, uh, anything that has you interacting on a mental level, the mind, talking, you, sharing your thoughts. The reason I wanted to call it "Is Mercury Still Retrograde" is because so many people walk up to me in the grocery store, on the sidewalk, and that's the first thing out of their mouth. Is Mercury still retrograde? Even when Mercury isn't retrograde, but it is coming up on it tomorrow. So Mercury is one of the 10 planets in our solar system that we deal with in the birth charts or any charts. And it has a lot to do with what's going on with your ability to get your thoughts across to people and to listen and also to share ideas.
Got
So it's
it.
a very important planet.
And so, what does it mean when you hear Mercury is retrograde? Can a planet really go backwards? Is this a bad thing? Is it a good thing? If you don't
Yeah,
mind, yeah, still for
no.
inquiring minds
Mer-
want to
uh,
know. Yeah.
so Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. And when planets cannot go backwards in their orbits, but they appear from our place on the Earth looking towards the sun, and Mercury's going very fast around the sun.
Yeah.
It's like if you're in a car and someone pulls up beside you, and all of a sudden you get a little head rush and it looks like
Yeah.
the wheels on the car are going backwards. It's because of the where we are in position in relationship to the sun and Mercury at the time, and how fast Mercury's moving, because it moves faster than the Earth moves and rotates. So all the planets from Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they all, and I might have left one out just then.
I get
They all
confused.
they all go back, they all go retrograde in retrograde motion, but Mercury does it 3 times a year, sometimes four. And what happens is when it's going back over the degrees it was at previously. So if you know where Mercury is now,
Oh, okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
then you can look and see where is 15 degrees of Leo in my birth chart. How's it going to affect me?
Oh,
So it's right now it's slowed down. It's stationing tonight.
okay.
And at 12:45 a.m. tomorrow Eastern time, it will be in retrograde motion. It will go all the way back to, let me just see here, 4 degrees and 15 minutes of Leo. It's still going to stay in Leo.
Okay.
So knowing where you have Leo in your birth chart is where you're going to have snags or where you're going to have to review things. Here's
Okay.
what we say about Mercury retrograde: review, renew, and redo. Go over the things that you need to go over, but don't begin anything new during a Mercury retrograde if you can help it. So you can, things that don't involve life-changing situations, it's fine. You're going to, you can take it too far if you don't want to go to the post office and pick up your mail that day. And yet I do know people that won't do that. Um, it's it's really where there's breakdowns in communications, but not just speaking. It can be computers, phone calls, the checks in the mail. It's the kind of things where there's a slowdown and things go in reverse. So what I tell people, Mercury retrograde isn't a bad thing. It's a time, an opportunity to do your research. Let's say you need to buy a new car, and cars are ruled by Mercury because they have moving parts, things that move, that take you from one place to another. You do your research during Mercury retrograde, but if you don't have to buy a car until wait until Mercury's out of its storm phase.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. So, like, how long does the shadow and storm phase last for?
Okay, so and I call it the shadow phase. A lot of people are
Okay.
calling it a storm phase now, and I just said that. I don't know why, because usually I call it a shadow. But it's the point at which Mercury slows down and turns around to go retrograde. And so what happens is that it once it stops and it turns direct again, which is going to happen on August 11th, it's going to take until August 26th to get back to the degree it was at when it went into retrograde motion.
Okay.
So that's the storm phase. Now, once Mercury is direct, a lot of people jump right on to signing those things. But it is good to know, to be aware of what was going on in the previous time phase,
Mm-hmm.
when Mercury was there. So uh, computers, cars, anything that like the podcast, turning something on. Well, where's
Yep.
the intro? Oh, well, it's just it's those kind of things that can get mixed up or slow
Stuck.
down.
I'm going to
Stuck.
blame it all technical issues on Mercury retrograde then today.
Oh,
Thank
people
you
do
so
that all the
much.
time. People do it all the time. But
Wow.
it's really funny because Mercury retrograde, it gets blamed for a lot of things, and yet in fact things do break down during Mercury retrograde. But I've noticed a pattern sometimes that you might have purchased something during a Mercury retrograde, not even aware of it. But when you go back and look at the dates and look it up, and an astrologer can help you do that, you'll find that, oh yeah, I bought it during a Mercury retrograde, or maybe it's time to get the gears fixed.
Yeah.
It's something that helps you move forward. It's all about planning and organizing and how you use your time to make things you know work in a better way.
Got it. Wow. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about, you said Mercury is turning retrograde tomorrow, meaning like tomorrow or
Yes.
like today? Like, yeah, 'cause I don't know when the Mercury
Well,
set.
so in some books it'll show
Yeah.
Mercury's retrograde today because Pacific time. It depends on where you are.
Got it.
So
Okay. Yeah, you're right. In all different
Pacific
parts of the
time,
world.
it is turning. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know where you are. Are you in New York?
Yes, correct.
Yes. So you're in Eastern time,
With
like
you.
I am on
Yes.
Nantucket
Hmm.
Island. Yes. And so it will be after midnight tonight, 12:45 a.m.
Okay.
tomorrow, technically. But we're feeling it already because it slowed down, and we are in that shadow phase because it's going to go right now. It's at 15 degrees, but it's going to go all the way back to 4. So I would look at my chart, what was going on while Mercury was at between 4 and 15 degrees where it is now, and that will tell me what I'm going to have to redo. Who did I make agreements with? Did I schedule a client during that phase? Maybe I better just double check and confirm that we're on board to do that reading, that kind of thing.
Got it. All right. Interesting. So
Yeah.
what else should we know about Mercury and of course this time of year and this day? What should we be aware of? What should we be doing differently?
Sure. Well, right now we do have a lot of things happening with the other planets, of course, and so Mercury right now has is making an aspect with the moon, or it just did early this morning, and that's very nice. The moon represents your comfort zone, your feelings, your emotions, and when the moon and Mercury are in a helping relationship, things flow easier. So this morning's communications might have been more comfortable, easier to talk to people about things, especially when you have relationships that might be, you know, a little difficult right now. You can talk to people, you can reach out but it's all about the aspects too between the planets. The other things going on right now is that we are at a fourth quarter moon. So we had the new moon a week ago, the full moon a week ago, and now we're at that last quarter moon. In the moon phase, this is the time where we go, how am I proceeding with what I set out to do 3 weeks ago at the new moon? And then the full moon showed me a week ago where I'm at, what I'm up against, and by now, if we're not seeing some results that we want to see, this is the time to really say, what do I have to let go of, or what do I need to focus on to continue? Because harder than the new moon and the full moon are the quarter moons. The first quarter and the last quarter is often when things happen. You watch the news, so things going on out in the world that's mundane, astrology, politics, things happening in different countries. It's the overarching umbrella. Well, if somebody is going to have peace talk, I don't know, because I don't watch the news anymore. I just get my snippets from my friend who watches it. She calls it her soap opera, and she tells me what's happening. But anyway, I it's not that I'm unaware, because I get emails, but I don't like to see it on TV. I don't like to watch it. But right now, there may be, if there's supposed to be some peace talks, let's say, in Mercury's retrograde, it might not work out the way we wanted it to work out. It might be that they have to meet again. They didn't iron anything out because people had their own agenda, and they were going back over what they thought should happen and not being present. So it's very difficult when things are started during the quarter moon, because that's a time for finishing, for following through, for tweaking things, for making things work, making adjustments. So that's one of the things that's going on right now.
Wow.
And plus the moon was in Aries, and it's going void tonight, the void of course, traveling, not making any aspects to any other planets after it squares the sun at the quarter moon tonight.
Wow.
8:38 p.m. And then it's going to move into Taurus tomorrow, not as active as the Aries moon. Go, go, go. It's more calm. So what were you going to ask me?
Well, how does this all progress, with us, right? With the work you're doing, how could this help us, right? Like, what advice, can you give to those, that, are experiencing this, and how can we work with this energy?
Of both the Mercury retrograde and the last quarter moon?
Yes, yes.
Both of those? Okay. So I would say the advice I give to my clients is, do you really need to begin something right now? If you don't, take your time to do some more research, get some more information, talk to people, and really just look in your immediate environment for support. If you're expecting things to come from outside you, they're not going to right now. So it's very important to talk to the people around you who know you well, coworkers, neighbors, siblings, those kind of close relationships. And if you're having difficulty in any of those relationships, it's also a good time to maybe extend an olive branch and say, can we meet to talk about this? Have you got time for coffee? It's those small things that you can do during this time phase that could help lead forward in a more amicable way.
Got it. Amazing. Well, with the work that you're doing, and you've been doing this as an astrologer for so many years, what happens after this phase? I mean, there's so many different phases, right, that come into life. Like, what did we learn about this and can take away each time this happens?
Well, that's a big question, because I don't know. I don't know that there's one answer to that.
Okay.
So if we're talking about Mercury retrograde, every time Mercury goes retrograde and we've put our foot in our mouth, so to speak, then we learn from that, right? So hopefully, better to have researched something before I said the wrong thing to this person or whatever. the phases of the moon, every month we have an opportunity for a new beginning. The next new moon will be in roughly a week. And that moon is going to be when the sun and the moon come together. The sun represents the outer and the moon the inner. So when the inner and the outer are in sync, it's going to be in Leo, and it's going to be very much about enjoyment and fun and all of those things. But it's not something that is going to happen every month. It's going to be in a different sign. So really the opportunity comes up every month for a new beginning at the new moon, and then that changes around. Now, what do we learn from Mercury retrograde is basically what I said, do your due diligence, find, get the information and relax and sit back and do the best you can with what you have right now. And then the next time Mercury rolls around, which usually every 3.5 to 4 months, you'll be better prepared, And I think people learn by making mistakes. So if we don't screw up once in a while and make a mistake, we're not learning how to do things better or different the next time around. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No, it does. It does. Thank you so much because
You're
this
welcome.
is just fascinating, the work they're able to do with people's charts and people's birth dates, right? And you're helping people, though, let me just say, with relationships, with businesses, with real estate. I mean, there's a lot that your work is helping people as an astrologer, a tarot reader, past life regression therapist as well. So I know we still have plenty more time to chat here, 10 minutes, Suzanne. So
Okay,
what else
great.
did you want to make sure we cover for today?
Let's see. Let me just check my notes here. Um, well, I guess we could talk about the fact because that coming up for the new moon in Leo, and I believe that's the next time I'm going to be talking to you. Um, we have and we have and that's on July 24th, and that's a really good time to talk, to do creative things, to express ourselves, to say, I've always wanted to take a dance class or learn
Where is
painting,
mm-hmm.
And that can set you up for that next lunar phase of the month of between July 22nd and or no, today this year it's on the 24th, through till about August 22nd. And that knowing that month, the energy, because the sun is the energy, knowing that energy is for in going into Leo, expressing itself through Leo, the sign that it's the strongest in. It's very much about having fun and enjoyment. So people can get really dramatic when the sun is moving through Leo, and it gives them courage. What's the symbol of Leo? The lion. It's so if you have something you want to do and you need to be courageous and stand up and roar and let people know what it is you want to do, that's a great time to do it. You know, there's so many of the planets, speaking, just backing up a little to the retrograde phase. We are in the late spring and early summer, all the planets from Mercury on out start to go retrograde. And right now, let me see, we've got Jupiter's retrograde, Neptune, Saturn, and oh, wait a minute, is Saturn retrograde? Yeah, Saturn. Uh, sorry, Jupiter is not retrograde yet. Saturn is Neptune and Pluto, along with Mercury tomorrow. By the end of August, we're moving into, or the beginning, the very first week, we're going to have a Jupiter retrograde. All the outer planets going retrograde, and the outer planets have to do with the overarching umbrella of what's going on in the world. And then Jupiter and Saturn represent the interpersonal, how we interact with people, do business, all that. Things slow down. It's hard to make things happen if they weren't begun in the late winter or in the spring, because everything takes longer. And so when people can understand those cycles, it becomes a time of hard work and focus and being patient, and then getting your plans to work. They'll come out better in the long run. You can expect rewards later if you take the time now to focus on what you need to do. That's kind of a lot. That's a lot that I just said there. But really, it's hard to know without talking to your astrologer to find out where is it affecting me? Because it affects everybody differently depending on where you were born and what time you were born, when it's moving through what area of your chart.
That. And also, now, Suzanne Keating, I just want people to know it's Pathways of the Soul. And, she lives here on Nantucket Island, beautiful, born and raised, gorgeous island. And I can only imagine just curious, because you're on an island, right? Is it therapeutic to be on the water like this? Does it help people who do tarot readings to be on an island? Does that have anything to do with, the work that you're doing with natal charts and all?
I believe it does,
Mm-hmm.
because the ocean is very healing, and Nantucket it has a lot of very calming, healing effects. It also is a place where people come to enjoy themselves,
Yeah.
and sometimes they get lulled into this sense that Nantucket's like Disney World, and it isn't. We have streets and we have people running to jobs or fire engines going to rescue somebody, or all these things are happening in real life. But Nantucket is sort of dreamlike, and yet we can go to the beach and sit and listen to the waves, and it's very soothing, very relaxing. And I think it's very conducive for doing the kind of work that I do. I just had a woman asking me about this yesterday, and about ghosts on Nantucket and stuff. And a lot of the houses here seem to have the spirits of the people that were in it during the whaling times or long ago, because of the proximity to the ocean and what happened here. They just hang around. They're not ready to go to the other side or whatever. I'm not a ghost expert, so I don't know, but I do think people can come here and get out of a rut, or they can come here and get in a rut, because it's a very Neptune has sway over this island in a lot of ways. And
Do you do any like group sessions, any type of thing on the island itself?
um I give group talks
Yeah.
sometimes. Yes, I do.
Awesome.
And I've been doing that off and on. I have to start it up again. I used to do it quarterly, 4 times a year. But that kind of the place I used to do it isn't happening anymore. I did the noonday lecture series with the Albert G. Brock Company for many years, but that we lost that room and that kind of thing. But yeah, working with groups, I love doing that. I love teaching too.
Got it. Well, thank you so much. And we just have 2 more minutes left in the show, so we kind of have to
Sure.
wind it down if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
I'm sorry. Do you have a question for me?
Oh, we
What?
did. Well, we did. I want to kind of sum up for
Oh,
today about
okay.
Mercury retrograde and,
Sure.
a little bit of your services so people, if they do want to
Oh,
reach out, they can. Thank you.
okay. Yeah, Mercury retrograde. So, if you want to know if it's still retrograde, call me, call your astrologer, whatever, because it's really good, especially if you're negotiating or you have a plan to do some major investment or purchase. It's better to check your chart. And you can visit my website at www.pathwaysofthesoulack.com. And yeah, I think having a reading during Mercury retrograde is a really good idea, because it helps you to just not get too nervous about things and unravel the threads, and the astrologer can see all the threads that are connected for you personally within your chart. So
Yeah. All right. Good. Thank you so much. So, Suzanne, how do
you're
we
welcome.
contact you?
You can call me at 508-221-1283, or email me at SuzanneKeating3@gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here. Looking forward to the next time we connect, and enjoy your beautiful hot day on the island. All right. And thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Jill.
helping so many. We appreciate you, Suzanne. Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.